Welcome back, Libra. This reading is going to be for you. Basically, this reading is just going to kind of go over what's your greatest fear and how to kind of get through that, because we all have our own fears. So let's see if this kind of helps you move on in life. So our first card is basically going to describe what your greatest fear is. So let's start with that. Ooh, okay, Libra. So this is the Three of Swords, and it's in reverse. Basically, this is the heartbreak card. There's no easy way to say it. So basically, your greatest fear, Libra, is emotional pain, heartbreak, and like some unresolved grief. So especially the kind that might linger like silently. Because this card is in reverse, it's really suggesting that you might be afraid of confronting old wounds or being hurt again. Totally understandable, Libra. I think none of us like getting hurt. It's not a nice feeling, and obviously want to avoid it if possible. However, you might like suppress or avoid emotional pain out of fear that acknowledging it is going to break your inner balance. So there's a strong fear of vulnerability, rejection, or betrayal, even if this is in the past. All right, Libra. So the next card is, what is your greatest fear? Okay, so here we have the Nine of Pentacles. So your fear is really like rooted in your deep desire for your independence, self-sufficiency, and your self-worth. Okay, so you want to be whole and kind of complete on your own, but there's really some tension here. So emotional pain that kind of threatens your image. Okay, so you fear that being hurt or vulnerable might make you seem less capable or self-contained. So Libra, there might be also a subconscious belief that if you rely on others, maybe you'll lose your power or identity. So how is this really holding you back? Okay, so here we have the Two of Cups. This totally makes sense. So this fear is preventing you from forming authentic partnerships here. So it's really creating a barrier to emotional intimacy, making it hard to like fully trust anybody or to connect with them. So this fear of being hurt again may cause you to withhold affection or to avoid commitment altogether. Or you might sabotage closeness, okay? So even if it's healthy closeness, you might be sabotaging it just so that way you're not in that point of heartbreak again. So you're likely, Libra, craving that connection, but your wounds are acting as armor. So why don't we try to work on that a bit so that way you can have that healthy partnership that you crave. So our next card is going to be, what do you need to learn about this fear? All right, so here we have the Justice. So really, Libra, at this point, you really need to own your truth here, okay? You need to acknowledge your past, and you really need to see things objectively and honestly. So including how you may have contributed or responded to emotional pain in your past. Justice is your birthright here as a Libra, and it calls on you to balance head and heart, truth and compassion. So healing doesn't mean denying the pain. It means facing it with clarity and grace so that you can make fair decisions going forward. And the last card we have here for you, Libra, is basically, how do you face this fear? How do we get through it? Okay, so here we have the Hierophant in reverse. So you need to break from this fear, Libra, by breaking away from rigid beliefs or traditional expectations. This is about love, relationships, and healing. So you might need to unlearn societal or family norms that kind of taught you to repress your emotions or to stay strong at all costs, okay? The Hierophant reverse really encourages you to forge your own path, even if it doesn't look like what others expect. So this might, mean seeking out some unconventional healing, some therapy, spiritual wisdom, or personal truth. This is really just anything that realigns you with your authentic emotional self, okay? So now that we kind of have everything here in a nutshell, Libra, your deepest fear here is being emotionally wounded or betrayed. So it's rooted for a desire to appear strong, whole, and independent, but this fear is really quietly keeping love and connection at arm's length, okay? So to move forward, you must honor your emotional truth without shame and to release outdated ideas about what healing or strength should look like, okay, Libra? So you will find peace not through perfection, but through emotional authenticity. I can never say that word. You just need to be authentic to yourself and have the courage to love again. All right, Libra, I really do hope that this helps for you and gets you through. And if it doesn't resonate with you at all and you're like, this, it doesn't sound like me at all, let me know. I can do a personal reading for just you, and it might align a little bit more to you personally and what you're going through, as this, like I said, is a general reading. And as always, best of luck to you, Libra.